Yeah.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Land to Yosef and basically to his children, Menashe and Ephraim. So,
Ernie, one question.
yes.
We talked last Parsha on Kalev. We went through a long portion about Kalev getting Hebron.
Yes.
But Hebron is an Ir Miklat, and it's a city of Levium. So who actually has possession of it?
So remember, he didn't get all of Hebron. He got Kiryat Sefer.
Mm-hmm.
He got excuse me. Vayal Misham El Yoshvei Dvir, V'Shem Dvir Lefanim Kiryat Sefer, and he got a place called Kiryat Arba within Hebron. So of course he didn't get all of Hebron because, as you say, Hebron was one of the Levite cities and was one of the Ari Miklat. So he got some of the neighborhoods in Hebron. Now, before we go to Yehuda, before we leave Yehuda and go to Yosef, that is going to be the subject of our discussion, those of you who have the Tanakh in front of you, I want to read the Radak of the last Perek, Pasuk Samech Gimel, where we said that the Bnei Yehuda, it says, V'tayuvisi Yoshvei Yerushalayim, the Yevusi who lived in Yerushalayim, Lo Yachlu Bnei Yehuda Lo Risham. Bnei Yehuda were not able to conquer there. Vayeshav HaYevusi et Bnei Yehuda B'Yerushalayim ad hayom hazeh. And therefore the Yevusi, ad hayom hazeh, we explained, meant until the death of Yoshua, or until whoever wrote, there's a debate. Some say Yoshua wrote it, but remember, the last few psukim, it says Yoshua dies. So just like we have at the end of the Sefer Torah, who wrote the last 8 psukim of the Chumash? Because it says Vayamat Moshe. Right. And then there's another 8 psukim. So there's a debate. It's actually Chazal. Some say Moshe wrote it with his tears, B'dema. That as Hashem was dictating to him, Vayamat Moshe, Moshe's tears filled in those 8 psukim. Other Madda Omar says it was Yoshua who wrote it. So similarly, there are those who hold that the end part of Yoshua was written by Shmuel. And Shmuel also wrote Shoftim, and he wrote Shmuel Aleph and Shmuel Beis. So when it says Ad hayom hazeh, it means until the time of Shmuel. Well, we know it was eventually conquered by David. So that's what it means, Ad hayom hazeh. But let's learn this Radak together. Lo yachlu b'nei Yehuda lo risham ksiv yuchlu, ki af bizman ha'atid lo yichlu. That means for the next 400 years, because they're about to go to Shiloh. Let's just keep these time frames in our head. At the end of the Chalukah, like next week, they're gonna already move the Mishkan has been in Gilgal for 14 years. The 7 years that they battled and the 7 years that they divided. And then the Mishkan is going to be set up in Shiloh, where it's going to be for 369 years. And then in the times of Eliah Kohen, it's going to be destroyed by the Plishtim. And the Aron is going to be taken captive. And the Mishkan is going to be set up in Nov and Givon, in the city of Nov for 13 years. And then after Shola Melech kills out Nov, Ira Kohanim, it's going to be moved to Givon for 44 years. So you're talking about 57, talking about 14 plus 369 plus feet, until Shlomo HaMelech builds the base of Mikdash, you're talking about over 400 years. Until David HaMelech eventually conquers Yerushalayim. That's what it means by the Radak. Ki av bizman atid lo yichlu ad sheyavu David. Ki lo yachlu az lo risham be'et kibush haaretz. But now with Yoshua, when they conquered Eretz Yisrael, they were not able to conquer Yerushalayim. V'anu Rabboseinu, in the Pirkei Rav Eliezer, Yecholen hayu, ela shelo hayu rishoyim, They were physically capable of doing it, but they were not permitted. Like we said, that Avram and Avimelech made a bris, and Avimelech is Melech Grar. If you remember back in Sefer Bereshit, Grar is one of the Plishtim cities. Avimelech is the head of the Plishtim. So it says, "Vayivusi azeh lo haya yivusi mishiva goyim." Right? The Chumash talks about the Shev Chivi, the Amori, the Prizi, the Chivi, the Yavusi. That Yavusi is gone already. Yavusi azeh lo haya yivusi mishiva goyim. Ela Adam echad shehaya shmo Yavus, v'haya miplishtim mizer Avimelech. V'nikra mokom al shmo Yavus. V'anshe mishpacha hi yoshvei Yerushalayim, haya shma Yavusi, mityachsim el Yavus. So right away, we have a piece of knowledge that when they talk about the Yavusi in Yerushalayim, it has nothing to do with the 7 nations Yavusi. It has to do with someone who came from the Plishtim territory, one of the grandchildren of Avimelech, who settled in Yerushalayim called Yavus. V'chein arvna Yavusi. Shahaya melech al hamokom hahu. David HaMelech is going to buy the environs of the Beis HaMikdash from Arvna HaYavusi. So that Arvna is the descendant of the Yavusi we're talking about.
That's the Goran HaAtad?
Of Goran HaAtad, correct. Umivtzar makom hazehu Tzion, shehi b'Yerushalayim. Va'ad David lo yanichbash hamokom hazeh. Until David conquers Har Tzion, no one can conquer it. Uladat Rabotenu Zal lo kafshu mepnei hashvua. But the David heisir ha'ivrim va'pischim, David removed the blind and the lame. Shayu tzalmin achoshet. There were some kind of idols there. Vayakasuv behem dvar hashvua. This shvua between Avram and Avimelech was written on these idols. Va'achar kach kovash hamigdal hahu. And then he the Migdal David. V'kach kach kana David et ira Yavusi l'Yisrael b'mimkar b'mea kikar zav b'chtav l'achuzat olam. Just like Avram Avinu bought the Marata Machpelah from Ephron Achiti, great pains are taken in Shmuel, in the Navi Shmuel, to describe how much David HaMelech paid, who did he pay it to, because the Beis HaMikdash has to be ours forever. Shneamar, Vayitein David la'arnan b'makom, period. V'od amru ki hashvuah li ulenini ulenechdi. So over there, when it talks about the bris between Avram and Avimelech, Avimelech says it's for me, my grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Shekav shubnei Yehuda Yerushalayim, haya neched Avimelech chai adayin. A grandson was still alive. That mitzuda that remained until David, they weren't allowed to conquer because this neched of Avimelech was still alive. However, b'mei David lo haya adayin neched chai. He had died out by then. Ulefi apshat hayam mivtzar chazak v'lo haya koach lebnei Yehuda lo risham. Now, all of us, everything we've learned up till now are drushes. But the Radak is saying, based on the pshat of the psukim, we could also learn that perhaps this mivtzar fortress was very strong, and maybe the Bnei Yehuda couldn't do it. Ulai tasiba meit Hashem, but maybe Hashem is the one who made this happen all along. Shalot tilakeda mutzuda hahi ad meloch David melech Yisrael. They were waiting for David melech Yisrael kadesh tikarel shmo. We call Yerushalayim Ir David. Kadesh nikral shmo lefi shaya rosh mamlechet Yisrael. Umasha amar hayom hazeh Yoshua kasav kentiu kasav sifro lefi HaKabbalah uv'yamav lo yisham Yerushalayim v'av b'mei David matzanu shayu sham. So I think it's an important radak because it connects here to what we're eventually going to learn later on by Shmuel. Now, also as an introduction, where we're gonna now talk about why now are we going into the Chalukah for Shevet Yosef? We've done Yehuda, now we're doing Yosef. So first of all, in the Midbar, if we look at the encampment of Klal Yisrael, Yehuda, Yisachar, and Zvulun were east of the Mishkan. And Yosef, which was made up of Ephraim, Menashe, and Binyamin, who are the children of Rachel, right? Ephraim and Menashe are the children of Yosef, and Binyamin is Binyamin. They were positioned on the western side of the Mishkan, opposite the Kodesh Kadoshim. So the Mishkan is bracketed by these two tribes of Judah and Joseph, highlighting not only their important relatives to the other tribes, but underscoring the tension concerning their conflicting claims to control over the Mishkan, the Malchus, right? Who is the first king of Israel? Shaul, who comes from Binyamin. Who's the second king? David HaMelech, who comes from Yehuda. So over the next 1,000 years, there's going to be just like there was a fight between Yehuda and Yosef in Mitzrayim, and just like there was a fight between the brothers, Yosef and Yehuda, who said, Ma Betza. So this continues in Eretz Canaan. We have to view this, and of course it started between Rachel and Leah.
Yeah, Ernie, can I ask you something? Is it possible, does any Chazal comment on the fact that these were the two who were considered to carry on after Yaakov Avinu? First, it was thought to be Yosef, because he was also Malchus. He had ruled in Egypt, and because of Yehuda's behavior when it came, the way he acted in front of Yosef, he and the tshuva that he did, he got the honor of obviously leading.
Yes. So that's what we're trying to do.
The first
here
two are there mentioned first too.
That's right. We're trying to explain why the Navi first talks about the Chaluk of Yehuda and now goes to Yosef, because basically for the next 1,000 years, as I'm going to point out, in Eretz Canaan, the battle is between Yehuda and then Yisrael, which is run by Ephraim, Yeravam ben Nevat, and the 10 tribes and the 2 tribes. It's the same Chalukah. So this is a cosmic perspective that foreshadows the difficult struggles that would unfold the nation of Israel. It starts with Leah and Rachel, and now we're going to this tribal territories that are divided between Joseph and Yehuda. And the biblical people of Israel never succeed in overcoming sectarian and narrow interest to become a truly unified nation. Even while Yoshua is alive, the tribes are pulled in different directions. Nor does the structure of the first temple bring an end to the divisiveness. The strife of Leah and Rachel is still sadly with us. And that's why only in Yechezkel 37, in the future, it says, mortal man, take a branch and inscribe upon it, for Judah and the children of Israel, his compatriots, and take another branch and inscribe upon it, for Yosef, the tree of Ephraim, and all the house of Israel. Draw the branches together to become one in your hand. Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the lands of their exile, and I will gather them from afar and bring them to their land and make them into a single nation. They will no longer be 2 nations and will no longer divide into 2 kingdoms. So basically, what's happening here, huh?
Basically, Yosef is supplanting Reuven as the Bechor because he gets al Pishnayim between Menashe and Ephraim.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
And
but the Malchus ends up with David HaMelech for reasons that we'll discuss when Shmuel eventually chooses David, because the first Melech comes from Binyamin, who's one of the children of Rachel. So it's not always Yosef, but that's why I mentioned it's Rachel and Leah.
Yeah.
the two imahot, where this division, right, this binary arrangement, focusing upon the sons of Jacob and upon Jacob's wife, there's a potential for diversity and cultural richness, but also the possibility for harmful developments such as dissent, confrontation, and internecine warfare. And this ideal vision of concord, harmony, and shared mission is going to be delayed interminably until the end of days.
Is there a jealousy to Ephraim and Manasseh because they're getting twice what everybody else is getting?
That's the jealousy that the brothers had against Yosef. The whole battle there was who was going to be the Bechor. Why is it being taken away from Ruvain? And they saw Yehuda as their leader. But we'll see. Manasseh and Ephraim get along very well. And
even though Ephraim got the blessing
Ephraim
first?
is the younger one. Even though Ephraim is the younger one. And we're going to see the Chalukah, what happens between Manasseh and Ephraim. But I was trying to lay sort of a cosmic grounding here between what's going on. Why? First, we're told about Yehuda. Now, all of a sudden, Yosef. There's a reason for it. Because this is going to be a foreshadowing of this division for the next 1,000 years between the Bnei Yehuda and the Bnei Yosef. Eventually, Melech Sancheriv takes the 10 tribes and takes them away. And all we're left with is Yehuda and Binyamin. And that's why we're called Yehudim. We don't even have the tribes of Yosef anymore. But they will come back. So, Vayetzer Goral Livnei Yosef, Miyarden Yerecho LeMeyericho Mizracha, Hamidbar Olem Yericho Bahar Beit Ben. So if you look at, just to orient ourselves, look at the first picture I sent. Actually, look at the second picture. You can see where it says Manasseh above, Ephraim, and then below Ephraim is Binyamin. Below Binyamin is Yehuda, because Binyamin. Everybody follow me? Manasseh, Ephraim. Below Ephraim is Binyamin. To the left is Dan. Now look, Dan was given an area. That's why it doesn't extend all the way from. If Manasseh goes all the way from the Jordan until the Mediterranean. But Ephraim doesn't extend all the way because Shevet Dan, who was going to be in the north, was given a chelek right next, and that's Gush Dan. If you look at Yafo, is right on the coast. That's why Tel Aviv is called Gush Dan. It's the area of Dan. That's where Yafo is. And if you look at the third picture, you will see the Gilad, which is on the east part of the Jordan. That's where half the tribe of Manasseh was. And then you see Manasseh, so they joined each other. And Ephraim is below, in between Manasseh and Yehuda. That just gives you and you can see the first picture I sent shows, where Manasseh is further up in the north, where Shechem is. Shiloh is going to be in the area you can see in the second picture in the tribe of Ephraim. So Shechem, remember, Shechem echad alachecha, Yosef is buried in Shechem, which was in the tribe of Manasseh, and Mishkan Shiloh is set up in the area of Ephraim. Remember, I'm also going to remind everybody about the when Binyamin and Yosef meet up in Mitzrayim. It says Vayefkal Tzavarav Od. Each one cries on the neck of the other person. What do Chazal say? That Binyamin is crying for the tzavar is the neck. What does the neck do? It connects our head to our body. Our head has our brain, our body has our heart. The heart represents ratzon, an action. But the brain represents control over that. So the tzavar is the link between the brain and the heart. What is the tzavar represented the Beit HaMikdash? So that's why Binyamin cried for the Beit HaMikdash that was going to be in Yosef's territory. That was Mishkan Shiloh. And Yosef cried on Binyamin's necks it says they're plural, necks, plural, because there are going to be two Batei Mikdash in the Chelik of Binyamin in Yerushalayim.
It's interesting because tzavar is also used metaphorically by Yaakov and Esav when they met, right? They foresaw the future as they cried on the neck, or am I correct?
No. What you're referring to is there's a chazal that say that Esav tried to bite Yaakov's neck, and Yaakov's neck turns into a hard stone. But the medrash I quoted is the one that Yosef and Binyamin, when they see each other, they cry on each other's necks. Vayevkat savarav od. The other thing to know from that is we know that Esav's head is buried in the Marat HaMachpelah. Remember that when they come to bury Yaakov, so Esav is there and prevents them from burying Yaakov in the Marat HaMachpelah. There's a whole debate regarding that. So Chushim ben Dan is deaf, and he goes, what is this guy? So Chushim ben Dan cuts Esav's head off, and Esav's head rolls into the Marat HaMachpelah. So one of the pshatim I've heard is Esav had a very good head and a very good heart. He just didn't connect the two. It means his brain didn't control his actions. He committed murder, he committed immorality. So his head had a schus to be buried there. But you need a combination between your head and your neck and your body in order to be a complete human being. Okay, enough with the drushes. Back to Sefer Yoshua.
Sorry, Ernie, I missed. Why wasn't Yosef buried in Marat HaMachpelah?
No, I said Esav.
I know, but I'm just asking you. He was buried in Shechem, but why not in Marat HaMachpelah?
Yosef is not an Av.
Oh,
Yosef is a Ben.
His head rolled in. Okay.
Huh?
Now, okay.
Also, I think Paro would not have allowed it.
No. Yosef, no.
Yeah,
Yosef has in some way he's a Ben, and he's an Av because he's the only one of the Shvatim that had two children that became Shvatim.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to do with what Ellen said because of the Bechorah. But really only the Avos are buried in Marat HaMachpelah, and Yosef doesn't qualify for that. But because of Yosef's great love for Eretz Yisrael, he demanded that his atzamos would, remember, Vayikach Moshe atzmot Yosef imo, he was a big Zionist, and his bones were buried in his territory. As I showed you in the map now, Shechem is in the territory of Menashe, and we said Shiloh was the territory of Binyamin.
Ernie, in this week's parsha, when Moshe Rabbeinu tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu there's a midrash that basically he wants to go to Eretz Yisrael to take, because he brought Yosef's body with him, right?
Right.
And he wants to take Yosef's body across the Yarden. So he asks HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to take Yosef's body across the Yarden. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, listen, Yosef has big schusim because when Yosef was in the Beit Sohar, when he was in jail, he said, they asked him, who are you? He said, I'm Ish Ivri, right? I'm from Eretz Yisrael, right? That's what he said. And when Moshe Rabbeinu went and met his wife and met the father, they said in Midian, when they asked him who he was, they said, he said he's a Mitzri, Ish Mitzri. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, that's chut that Yosef had, because he always had that love for Eretz Yisrael. That's why he goes to Eretz Yisrael, but you don't get to take him across.
Very nice. By the way, tonight, if we get to it...
Soloveitchik said that, by the way.
Oh. By the way, tonight, if we get there, we're gonna be reacquainted again with the Benos Tzlofchad. And the Benos Tzlofchad were very strong Zionists. And who did they get it from? They got it from their grandfather, Yosef. Because Tzlofchad is from Menashe, as we're gonna see later on tonight. And
I read that Dvar Torah also. That's why when it mentions Benos Tzlofchad, it carries on the lineage. It repeats Menashe twice, and it says Menashe ben Yosef. In the schus of Yosef, love of Eretz Yisrael, so did the Benos Tzlofchad want to share. And
absolutely.
Eretz Yisrael.
So, people's Zionism does leach down to your children and grandchildren. And we see it very much by the Benos Tzlofchad.
Quickly along those lines, I also heard this Shabbos about Menashe. What was the split in Menashe? Because part of Menashe, Menashe was the oldest of Yosef, and who was the man? The mother was Osnaz. Osnaz was the daughter of Potiphar, the adopted daughter of Potiphar. So part of it, and her father was Shem.
The mother was Dinah.
The mother was Dinah. So the half that was from Yosef was of Israel, and that's why part of that Shevet went to Eretz Israel. The other half that basically was from Osnaz's side, so to say, they wasn't that important for them to be in Eretz Israel. That's why they stayed in their yard.
Okay, it's a good shot too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we're going to get to that. So v'yarad yama al gvul hayaflei tiad gvul beit choron tachton v'ad gazer v'ayu totzotav yama. This is going through the various gvulim that I showed you the maps. Vayin chalu bnei Yosef, Menashe, Ephraim. And the Menashe of Ephraim are given their portion. Vayi gvul bnei Ephraim lemishchotam. However, who gets discussed first? Ephraim. That's just like Yaakov Avinu did, says Chazal. Even though Ephraim was the younger one, because Ephraim spent most of his time studying Torah, Menashe was the person who worked with Yosef in the government. So Yaakov placed Ephraim before Menashe. So Chazal here as well say that's why, even though it says Bnei Yosef, Menashe, Ephraim, we're first given the Gvulos of Bnei Ephraim. Vayi gvul nachlat ha-mizrach trot adar beit choron elyon. V'yatzag gvul hayam ha-michtamot mitzafo v'nasav gvul mizrach tanat Shilo. V'avar otom mizrach Yanocha. Now, what is this Tanat Shilo? There's no other place in Tanakh where Shilo is called Tanat Shilo. Says the Gemara Masechtas Zvachim, Kodshim kalem hayu necholim b'chol mokom, shemimenu roim es Shilo. So there are different types of kodshim, like achatas and ola and ashram. Those are called kodshe kodshim. Those korbanos can only be shechted in the Beis HaMikdash, can only be eaten by the Kohanim. Now, there are some kodshim that are called kodshim kalim, more lenient kodshim. These are korbanos like a shlomim. The korban Pesach was a kodshim kalim. A korban toda was a kodshim kalim. They could be shechted. They have to be shechted in the Beis HaMikdash, but their meat could be eaten anywhere within the walls of Yerushalayim. You didn't have to eat it in the Beis HaMikdash. So if you were coming up with your family, Aliyat HaRegel, you would bring animals, korban chagiga, korban shlomim. You'd stay in the King David Hotel. It wasn't anywhere near the Beis HaMikdash. It was, though, in the walls of the city of Yerushalayim. at that time, and you could take your shlomim and eat it there. Now, Mishkan Shiloh was even better than Yerushalayim. You could eat your kochim kolim anywhere where you could see the city of Shiloh. So even if you were 10 miles away from Shiloh, as long as you could see the city, you could eat your kochim there. So says Rav Avdimi Bar Chasa Amar Kra Tanat Shiloh Mokum Shekol Haro Oto Achrei Churban Shiloh Mitaneach Alav. The word Tanat comes from the word mitaneach. You sigh, you give a krechts, because the Plishtim destroyed Mishkan Shiloh. So everybody who walks by Mishkan Shiloh makes a krechts. Wow, what a place this was, that you could eat your kochim anywhere where you could see Shiloh. Al sheniskar b'chilas kochim Shiloh. Now there's another pshat in Zvachim. Ritzua haytayotze mechelko shel Yosef v'chelko shel Benyamin. There was a, right next to Shevet Ephraim was Shevet Binyamin. And there was a little strip that went out from Shiloh to Shevet Binyamin. And the Mizbeach in Shiloh was on that Ritzua. Now we're going to see something very similar in the Beit HaMikdash, that the main Beit HaMikdash was in the area of Binyamin, but a Ritzua went out from Yehuda and also occupied the Mizbeach. And we'll explain why that happened at that time. But basically, Milshon Shemitonel Makom Zeh B'Shiloh Shaya Shach L'Nachlas Yosef. Binyamin is kvetching on the fact that he doesn't have the whole area given to him. Now, I just had another source that I wanted to quote. Here. So this is, I'm reading from the Me'am Loez. First of all, Hakatuv megalel lanu nes gadol sha'asa Kodesh Baruch Hu b'goral hazeh. Kodesh Baruch Hu made a great miracle. Sharei chelek Ephraim haya yachol latzeit b'tzad Mizrach v'chelek Menashe b'tzad Ma'ariv. These chalokim could have happened different ways. Brothers want to be next to each other. Whether they're happy or sad. They got their goral together. That's why it says in the pasuk that we read, one shot. So there was no separation between them. That's nace number one. Now, we talked about the fact that in Mishkan Shiloh, you could eat your kochim wherever you could see. What's that concept? He says, Biglal Yosef at Tzadik, Shekidei Shenav Velozanotam Bavera Imeshes Potifar. Yosef really watched his eyes. He did not run after his eyes with the wife of Potiphar. ולכן זכה אפרים שנפלה בגורלו שלו, שבאו כמה משכן שקדושתו לעניין זה בכדי ראיית העין. זהו שנאמר בן פורת יוסף, בן פורת עלי עין. כיוון שיוסף שמר על חבותם בברית קודש למצווה של פורה וראייה, לכן זכו שיצאו ממנו בנים שקדושתם עלי עין, lefi shiur hariyah. So I think it's very interesting that this concept, this halachic concept that Shiloh had over Yerushalayim, that in Yerushalayim you had to be within the city environs to eat the kodshim. But in Shiloh, it was based on your eye, whatever your eye could see. This goes all the way back to the fact that Yosef used his eyes properly. We are paskening Chazal, and the Torah created halachas based on the behavior of our avos. It's really wild. Further, V'yarad me'anocha Torah v'narto fagabi richo v'yatsa yardei. Mitapuach yelecha gvul yama nachal kanav ayu totzotav hayama zot nachlat mateh bnei Ephraim l'mishpotam. So the Bnei Ephraim extended, we said, from the Jordan all the way to the Mediterranean, except eventually they gave up some of that Dan area right next to Yaffo. V'ha'arim ha'mivdalot livnei Ephraim b'toch nachlat bnei Menashe kol harim chatzreim. V'lo harishu et ha'knani hayoshev begazer. Now, there was a place, Gazer, that remained even until Shlomo HaMelech, that eventually Paro, who was the father-in-law of Shlomo, because Shlomo married Bas Paro, he eventually conquered Gezer. So Gezer remained unconquered even until the time of Shlomo HaMelech. Vayeshev HaKnani b'kerv Ephraim ad hayom hazeh v'hi l'mas oved. Okay. Then post Perek Yud Zayin. Vahi agora l'mateh Menashe, ki hu b'chor Yosef, l'machir b'chor Menashe, avia Gilad. Right? Machir was the father of Gilad, and he also ruled Gilad, which is the area that they captured from Sichon, the Avar Yarden. That's the picture I sent to you, the third picture where you see the Gilad is on the other side of the Yarden. Ki hu haya ish milchama vahi lo Gilad v'Bashan. Machir ben Menashe conquered already, when Moshe was alive, that area. Now, Chazal say, the Malbim says, Chazal kiblu shamash nikra matem Menashe lishnayim haya besibat Yosef shegaram l'shvatim likroa. So there's he brings from Breishis Rabbah that because of the machlokes of Yosef that eventually caused the shvatim to tear up, that's why Menashe was divided and have one set area. Now, these were the sons of Menashe, or in this generation. Aviezer, Chelek, Ashriel, Shechem, Chefer, and Shmidah. Ele bnei Menashe ben Yosef, Haschari lemishpotam. Uletzlofcha ben Chefer, ben Gilad, ben Machir, ben Menashe, lo hayu lo vanim ki im banot. Ve'ele shmot benotav, Machla v'Noach, Hagla, Milka v'Tirtza. I would like to read the following drasha. When they said we just read the perek in Pinchas, Avinu made Bamidbar, ki b'chetom met. The Bnot Tzlofcha come to Moshe and say, listen, our father didn't have any sons, and our father died in the Midbar from his own sin. So it explains Chazal. The Tzlofchad yada dahayu omrim the kevan the nigzra gzeirash yamutu Bamidbar elam chayuv b'mitzvos. Chazal tell us that Tzlofchad was a righteous person. That once Klal Yisrael were given a command that you're going to have to die in the Midbar for 40 years, none of you are going to make it into the Midbar. They thought that, you know what, we don't have to keep mitzvahs anymore. Therefore, Tzlofchad, Chazal say, was the Mekoshesh Etzim, was the one who either gathered or chopped wood. It's a machlokas exactly what the Chilul Shabbos was, or whether he carried in Rishus HaRabim. But whatever it was a Chilul Shabbos. Ulachi Chilul Shabbos, sheyahargu v'yedu shechayavim b'mitzvos. He allowed himself to be killed to show that no, even though now it's been declared that we cannot go into Eretz Yisrael. We still have to keep mitzvahs. V'imkein slavchad asa aveira lishma, which is a malacha she'ena tzricha legufa. It's not like he really did a malacha with the right kavana. That's why, in fact, Slavchad, it was a question for Moshe. He didn't know how to kill him. Should he be killed? Should he not be killed? And that's why eventually HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, yes, this is what you have to do to Slavchad. That's why Lachen is topik Moshe b'Slavchad davka shahaya b'kavnatol shamayim. But eventually HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Kain b'not Slavchad dovrot. Dehu tzaddik midizkir Hashem. If he wasn't a tzaddik, Hashem wouldn't have mentioned the name of Slavchad. So basically, the Bnot Slavchad are saying, Helitzu ba'araviem, v'nodashu began Eden, vehem hayu chachmaniot darshaniyot. They knew how to darshan, and they knew they were very wise. Uchvadai shayanachat ruach laviem v'asu b'maisa bonim v'yoyser. And therefore, he had a lot of nachas from his daughters. I think it's a very, very, very important drasha there, that Tzlavchad was really a tzaddik.
Didn't they have to marry people from Shevet Menashe so that they could keep, so it wouldn't go to another Shevet?
Yeah, that's one of the, they didn't want it to mix, they didn't want it to dilute their share. So they're given that eitzah. Back to Pasuk Daled. Vatikrav Elazar Kohen of Navi Yoshua bin Nun of Nenesim Lemor. Hashem Sivat Moshe Latet Lanu Nachla B'toch Achenu. Vayten Lahem El Pi Hashem Nachla B'toch Achei Avihem. We want our Nachla. Vayiplu Chavlei Menashe Asara.
Ernie, can I interrupt you a second and just ask a question? Because obviously I recognize the psukim from Parshas Pinchas because I learned it yesterday in your absence.
Right.
There's just a reversal of the order. That it was before in Parshas Pinchas is about Tikrabna L'fnei Moshe, and then it says L'fnei Elazar HaKohen. But then it's L'fnei Hanisiya B'chol Oida. But here it reverses it and puts Elazar HaKohen before Yehoshua.
Because Elazar Kohen is the one, as I'm going to read later on, if we get to it, he's the one that's conducting the Goral through the Urim V'Tumim. I'm going to read later on.
The breastplate, the stones.
Bernie, it says Elazar Haya. I'm reading the Radak by those of you who have the Navi by Yudalad and Tesvav. Elazar Haya Meluvash B'Urim V'Tumim V'Yoshua V'Chol Yisrael Omdim L'Fanav V'Kalfi Shvatim V'Kafei Tchumim Munachim L'Fanav V'Yamechavein B'Ruach HaKodesh V'Omer Im Zvulun Ol Tchum HaKol. They go through the process. We'll read it more in detail when we get there. But it's because Elazar Kohen is conducting this Goro. And he's standing in front of Yoshua and the nation.
Okay, understood.
But let me read Rashi here. We just read, let's count. Aviezer, Chelek, Ashriel, Shechem, and Chefer. Aviezer, Chelek, Ashriel, Shechem, Chefer, and Shmido. So, Shisha l'shisha bate avos, I'm reading Rashi. Hamnuim l'malu. Va'arba livnos Slavchad. So why 10? Because 6 to the bate av that were mentioned, and Arba go to the bnot Slavchad. Lo shetei kolachas beisav la'atzma l'shenatlu arba chalokim. The bnot Slavchad took 4 shares. Chelek shel aviem shahaya miyotze Mitzrayim. So there's a machlokas. Was the divisions based on those that left Mitzrayim, or is it those that entered Eretz Yisrael? The Chazal end up poskening that it had to do with those who left Mitzrayim. Ulefi minyan hayotzim miMitzrayim nilchaku haaretz. V'chelko imechav b'nichsei Chefer aviv. First of all, Tzlavchad's father Chefer, he got 1 chelek of his for the brothers of Chefer. Shai Gomum Yotzim Mitzrayim, and then he was a Bechor, Shai Bechor V'Noto Shnei Chalokim, V'od Ha'ilem Chelek Achi Avihem, Shemeit B'Midbar, and the father died in the Midbar below Banim. and they took his chelik too. This is all goes into in Baba Basra. What is all to tell us? L'lamed shenotlu chelik b'chora uladia she'eretz Yisrael chelik Yerushalem muchzeketz mavusayim she'ilu lekein ein abchor notel b'roi k'mavuzek. So let me explain this in the following way. A bechor gets pishnayim, gets double. So if there are two brothers, so eventually, when the father dies, they divide up into three, and the bechor gets two, and another brother gets one. Let's say there were three brothers, right? So they divided up into four. The bechor gets two, or they divided, what did I say, three brothers? Yeah, so they divide up into four. The bechor gets two, and each other brother gets one. The bechor always gets pishnayim. But you only get pishnayim in what is the assets currently in the estate when the person dies. So, for example, later on, an inheritance falls to that family after the death of the father. The bechor doesn't, that's called roy. Anything potential in the future, he doesn't get pishnayim. It's only masha muchzak. Now, this whole pasuk that they're getting these 10 is to teach us that it was already considered that they owned it. Those that left Mitzrayim, they already were muhzakim in the land of Eretz Yisrael. Not that later on it fell to them. If later on it fell to them, they wouldn't be entitled to Pishnayim. But they were entitled to Pishnayim because the people who left Mitzrayim already had possession of it at the time. That's what's learned out from this pasuk. And again, I want to point out that the love of Zionism comes out very strongly by these Bnos Slovchad. Remember, last week we had Achsa, right, the wife of Osniel ben Knaz, who is involved in settling the land. So I think it's very, very pertinent that we're being shown many examples of female heroines throughout Nachir. It's not just Stamazoi. It's to show us that they were very much part and parcel of what was going on in the settling of the land of Israel. Kibnos Menashe nachlu nachla b'toch panav, ve'eretz hagilad atalav neim Menashe notrim. Vayigvul Menashe me'asher ha'michtamot, asher pnei Shechem alach ha'gvul al yamin al yoshvei ein tapuach. Lim Menashe eretz tapuach v'tapuach al gvul Menashe b'nei Ephraim. If you look at the map I sent, you'll see tapuach is there in the area of Menashe. V'yirad ha'gvul nachal kanan negbal ha'nachal. Arima elu le'Ephraim b'toch harei Menashe, gvul Menashe mitzvon ha'nachal, v'ayu totzotav ha'yama. It went all the way to the Mediterranean. Negba le'Ephraim, v'tzafon limnashe, v'hi hayam gvulo, right? Ephraim was to the south, Menashe was to the north. Uvasher yivku mitzafon v'sachar b'mizrach. They touched Yisachar to the east. You can see from the picture one I sent. V'hi l'mashe b'sachar v'asher beit sha'an uvnotea, v'ivlaem uvnotea v'yoshvei da'or uvnotea v'yoshvei ein dor uvnotea v'yoshvei tanach uvnotea v'yoshvei migidol uvnotea shloshet tanafet. These are various cities within Menashe that they developed. Again, the Bnei Menashe cannot conquer all of it. They allowed the Knanim to continue to dwell there. This is going to come back to haunt us because we're leaving Knanim in our midst. Vaydabru bnei Yosef et Yoshua lemor. Madua natata li nachala goral echad v'chev lechad v'ani am rav ad asher imkol berachani Hashem. Menashe was a great populative nation. Now, if you take a look at the census in Bamidbar versus the census that we had in Pinchas, there is a tremendous drop-off, almost 20,000 lives from Ephraim. Why is that? Because the Torah told us the Bnei Ephraim were the Mapilim. Remember, after they were given the decree of you can't go into Eretz Yisrael, so the Bnei Ephraim said, no, we're going to go. And 20,000 people were killed there. Shnayim u'shoshim elef, right? Umosayim. Look at the Rashi here. Asher ra'ita shnisraba minyanim mimeni rishon leminyan sheni. Esrim elef chamesh mos kiminyan kafe b'gematria. Leminyan rishon tamotze b'menashe b'sefer vayidaber shnayim u'shoshim elef umosayim shnayim v'chamishim elef. Menashe went up by 20,000. Dover acher arasher ad ko bracha nemer lavram ko yazarecha niskayma bi. And Ephraim lost population. So Menashe complains, you gave us the same land, we don't have enough land. He says, go to the forest within your area. You've got to clear the forests. You've got to clear the swamps, like the Zionists did with the Hula Valley. They have chariots of fire, of iron. Israel. Vayomer Yoshua Beit Yosef leFraim l'Shalemor Am Ravata l'Koch Gadolach Lo Yelacha Goral Echad Ki Har Yelacha Ki Yaru Reit Vayala Totzatav Ki Torisha Taknani Ki Recha Barzelo Ki Chazaku. You don't be afraid of them. You can conquer them. And he tried to give them a motivation to go to the forest, clear the forest, and build land and have more land. Says the Medrash, go hide in the forest. So there shouldn't be an ahara. We don't have to worry about that. We're from Yosef. One of the benefits of Yosef, there was no ein hara by him. Ben Poras Yosef, Ben Poras Ale Ayin. And Rav Yosef Rachani Omer Mehacha, Vayidgula Rov, Ma Dogim Shabayom Ein Hayara Shaletis Bem. If you look at fish, their eyes are always open. There's no ein hara by fish. Avzar Shal Yosef Ein ein hara Shaletis Behem. Umash Ein ein hara Shaletis Bezar Yosef Zeu Kemo Shomer Bezvachim Shlo Rotzalons Bimash She'ena Shalo. He didn't want to benefit from Eishes Potifar, which didn't belong to him. So people have an ein hara, they want something that doesn't belong to them. So Yosef doesn't have a connection to that because he was always protective of his eye. I just want to say what the Musar Nevi'im says. People don't believe that if you look at somebody with a bad eye, you're jealous of them, that there's this koach of ein hara. Most damages between people ba'im al yedei ayin hara. Ki kishadam ro'eh b'chaver davar shemevi oto likina. A person sees something that he's jealous of. Hakina zot meviach hakach lidei masim roim. He does bad acts. Ulefichach tzarich adam lishmor et atzmo shelo yeh goram ledivrem ke'eleh. V'ra'ui lastir et perchat hamakom meineach habriot. You shall hide all of your wealth. Lastir et perchat hamakom meineach habriot. Bichdei shelo ye'orer kina b'neihem. V'al ze amru kan shetzarich adam lishtadel shelo tishlot bein bo ayin hara. We learned that from Yosef. So that's just, I think something, you think ayin hara, obviously ayin hara was a big thing. You agree?
Yep. Ernie, was it
Yes.
considered a negative that they complained about their Yerusha?
Yeah, why wasn't it considered negative? It wasn't negative, no?
Well, but they had a claim. Their population did grow, and they wanted more. They remember, because they gave each shevet the same, no matter whether the shevet had more population or not. So they complained about it.
By the way, Ernie,
Yes?
that's about ayin hara. I have to find the Rashi. I'll find it for next year. Rashi talks about ayin hara. He says that it's so strong that parents can even give their children. You have to be very careful, even on your children. Not that you're looking at somebody else, but even on your children, that you can keep an eye on her. I'll find that the Rashi off.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. Well, just also in today's world where we see, it's always better to be quiet, be quiet among the eyes of the nations, even as Jewish people. I think it's an important thing collectively today. This is an important issue. Important issue.
Bernie, isn't there a drasha somewhere? I think I remember learning it.
By the way, Ellen, look at the Radak. Yud Dalet Tesvav. It'll answer your question.
Yud Dalet Tesvav. Yidabru b'nei Yosef.
Yeah, because Bnei Ephraim didn't complain. Like I explained, they had much less than so they got a big portion because they were a lot of people by Yotze Mitzrayim, but by the time they came in, they had less all those mapilim. They had 20,000 more. So since they divided it based on the Yotze Mitzrayim, they had much more, they had a legitimate complaint.
Wasn't it considered, it was it wasn't a positive that Reuven and Gad wanted to be on the other side of the Yarden, but I thought that the reason that half of Shevet Menashe went along with them was that they would be a good influence on the two Shvatim that were on the other side of the Yarden.
That's part of it, and part of it was to protect the eastern flank of their brother Menashe that was in Eretz Canaan. So they were there to help their brother.
Right.
Now, by the way, Afal Pishat Saku Bnei Yosef Lo Yilalem Tzakatam Ki Lo Yachol Yoshua Lasif Lehem Benachlatam Ela Kamosh Shenitna Lem Al Pi Hashem Al Garal Aval Yoshua Natal Lem Eitzah. They gave him advice. Shechrutu Ayar Shezam El Chelkam, and there was Har Ephraim, and there was an Amek. So he gave them practical advice of how to be able to get more tillable land to be able to plant.
Right.
Okay. I think any other questions, oros, comments?